Philippines is not a U.S. state, exploring historical, political, and cultural distinctions. The fact that Filipinos share a strong cultural bond with Americans. Yet the Philippines has never joined the United States as a state. Might seem strange. Many assume the U.S. would have incorporated the country if it saw value in doing so. But reality tells a different story. Despite the long history of American influence, several crucial reasons keep the Philippines an independent nation.
The Spanish-American War and the Treaty of Paris, 1898. The story begins in 1898, when the U.S. and Spain fought the Spanish-American War. After Spain's defeat, the Treaty of Paris ended Spanish rule over the Philippines. The U.S. acquired the islands as part of the deal, seeing them as a strategic outpost in Asia. This marked the start of American influence but not outright annexation. Instead, it set the stage for a complex relationship that lasted decades. The Philippine-American War, 1899 to 1902. Soon after, Filipino rebels fought against American control. This struggle, called the Philippine-American War, became a fight for independence. Filipinos wanted freedom, not colonization. Thousands lost their lives in this conflict, sparking a fierce desire for sovereignty. The war shaped Filipino identity and strengthened resistance to foreign domination. Path to independence and post-colonial relations. It took years, but the Philippines finally gained independence in 1946. The U.S. and the Philippines signed the Manila Treaty, promising support and friendship. Still, the Philippines was never treated like other U.S. territories or states. Instead, it remained a separate, sovereign country, a stance rooted in its history of fighting for independence and maintaining self-rule. Political and legal reasons why the Philippines is not a U.S. state. Constitutional and sovereignty considerations. The U.S. Constitution clearly defines what makes a state, a part of the Union with local governance. Countries are different, they are sovereign nations with their own laws and leaders. The Philippines fits this category. It has its own government, elections, and laws. Becoming a part of the U.S. would mean giving up independence that Filipinos fought hard to preserve. U.S. legislation and treaties. No law or treaty exists that says the Philippines can become a U.S. state. While the U.S. has admitted other territories, like Alaska and Hawaii, these are different. They were formally annexed with specific legal steps. No such step has ever been taken for the Philippines. In fact, policies have generally favored maintaining its status as an independent nation. International law and recognition. The international community recognizes the Philippines as a fully independent nation. The United Nations supports countries' rights to self-rule. Becoming a U.S. state would require giving up this recognition, which Filipinos have fiercely guarded since independence. It's a matter of sovereignty that can't easily be rewritten by treaties or agreements. Cultural and social factors preventing united status. Filipino national identity and cultural sovereignty. Filipinos are proud of their history, language, and traditions. These elements form a strong sense of national identity. Many see themselves as Filipino first, not American. Even with decades of American influence, they want to shape their own future. This desire for independence is woven into their culture and history. Americanization and cultural ties. The U.S. influenced the Philippines heavily, through education, media, and migration. Many Filipinos speak English, watch American movies, and follow Western trends. But at the core, they remain Filipino. This dual identity allows them to enjoy American culture without losing their roots. It's like having a rich heritage and modern influences blended together. Public opinion and political will. Most Filipinos prefer to stay independent. They see sovereignty as key to their identity. While some Americans have joked about the Philippines joining the U.S., Filipino leaders focus on growth and self-determination. The desire for freedom and respect for their history keeps the nation from seeking statehood. Economic, strategic, and geopolitical considerations. Military and strategic interests. The Philippines remains a vital partner for U.S. military strategy in Southeast Asia. U.S. military bases like Clark Air Base and Subic Bay play big roles in regional security. Still, these are strategic partnerships, not steps toward statehood. The Philippines values its independence while cooperating with America on regional security. Economic relations and trade. The Philippines is a developing economy with strong trade links to the U.S. and China. It's growing fast but remains separate from American economic policy as a sovereign nation. Foreign investments and trade agreements help the country build its future on its own terms. Geopolitical challenges and opportunities. The region is filled with challenges: rising China, regional disputes, and ASEAN cooperation. The Philippines' independence lets it navigate these waters carefully. It keeps its sovereignty intact while forging international partnerships. Real-world examples and case studies. Comparison with other U.S. territories. Puerto Rico, Guam, and American Samoa aren't states but territories. They have different rights and statuses. Puerto Rico, for example, holds a U.S. citizenship but isn't a state. These cases show how complex the U.S. keeps relationships with non-states. Unlike them, the Philippines was never meant to be an extension of the U.S. Key moments clarifying the Philippines' status. Debates in U.S. Congress and Filipino independence movements highlight why integration as a state was never serious. The Philippines' fight for sovereignty and the legal barriers made it clear that independence was the preferred end. Today, most see their country as fully separate. Expert perspectives and insights. Historians agree that the Philippines' independence was a long, hard fight. Political scientists emphasize that U.S. laws and international standards support nationhood. Filipino leaders have repeatedly expressed pride in their sovereignty. U.S. policymakers recognize the importance of respecting these boundaries for regional stability. Actionable tips for understanding the relationship. Filipinos can celebrate their American cultural ties without losing their national identity. It's about balancing respect for history with pride in independence. For the U.S., supporting development and cooperation without trying to take control best reflects respect for sovereignty. If you're interested in fostering good ties, learn about regional issues and mutual benefits, not about trying to change borders. Despite the surprisingly successful effort to Americanize Filipinos, the Philippines was never admitted into the Union. Perhaps it never stood a chance. From the outset, Americans were dead set against making the islands a state. America, for them, was white, Anglo-Saxon, or of Northern European descent, and Protestant. Why would they want to contaminate the Republic with brown Asians who were largely Catholic with a Muslim minority? There was also geography. If the Philippines became a state, it would be the U.S.'s furthest frontier, and at 8,000 miles, 12,875 kilometers away, its defense would be problematic. As early as 1910, former President Theodore Roosevelt deemed the colony indefensible. Filipinos have never regretted not being a state.
The Philippines remains a proud, sovereign nation because of its rich history, legal independence, and cultural identity. Despite close ties to the U.S., becoming a state isn't on the table, and probably never will be. Recognizing these facts deepens our understanding of U.S.-Philippine relations and shows the importance of respecting a nation's right to govern itself. Understanding why the Philippines stays independent helps us appreciate its unique place in world affairs and the strength of national sovereignty. The country's story is one of resilience, pride, and strategic diplomacy, traits that continue to define its future.